Good day. This is Chuck Cameron on Oxford Community Television. The program is My Life. Today I'm sitting here with a new friend, Jeanette Skipinski. Jeanette, so glad you've come to sit and talk.
You too.
No, thank you. Tell us a bit about what you're up to today. What do you do?
What do?
Yep.
I garden. I take care of flowers. Life is going to be easier because I just retired last Tuesday, 27th, from working at the St. Joe's Rectory.
Excellent.
So I'll have more time to can, bake, babysit, whatever.
Sounds like you'd be a good neighbor.
I do. I make, all the bread I was making that one time, I gave it all away, and the jam, and I just like to make it and give it away.
Excellent. You also had a kind of a political role, political role for some time in the Addison Township. Give us a minute about what that's involved.
Actually, it's exciting. You meet a lot of people. Mm-hmm. It's kind of scary too, because the last few times with the COVID and all that, we had to wear masks and make sure we wiped down all the counters. And
so what was the job exactly?
Mine, I was the chair for many years, so I had to make sure everything was running right. Any problems, it always came to me. Okay. And then if I couldn't handle it, it would go to their township clerk. Okay. Other than that, just, make sure everybody was doing their job.
Elections are a lot of work, aren't they?
They are,
They
yes.
look easy for us who stand in line for a few minutes and scribble a little box, but there are lots of things up behind the
right.
scenes.
But the good thing now is when they spoil their ballot, we can give them a new one.
Got it.
Where before we couldn't.
Yeah. Well, let's take a dive back a week or a month or a year or a decade or two to the things that affected you when you were young. Tell us a little, if you would, about what was like home. Mom, dad, siblings, what was life like at home?
Well, I have come from a family of 11. I have 6 sisters and 5, there's 6 girls, 5 boys. Mm-hmm. And I was the 3rd youngest. So actually when I was born, my oldest sister was already getting married. So, but we lived on a farm. We didn't have running water. We didn't have indoor bathrooms. We didn't have a phone. We didn't have TV in the beginning. But before as I grew up, we had all that. Planted a garden, picked pickles, went to sell them in Bad X with my dad. Milked the cows.
You were up in the thumb.
Yes. I always wanted to know how to milk a cow. Mm-hmm. Dumb thing to learn, because then I had to go and do it.
Yes.
Till we had the milk machines. Yeah. And, we didn't have a tractor, so we had the horses. Mm-hmm. And one day my dad was working in the garden, working it up to plant flowers or whatever. And I said, Dad, let me, just one little thing, that you walk behind a horse. I said, Dad, let me do that. Let me do it. He said, you can't, it's too hard. Please let me. So he did. I probably went this far and I said, okay, you're right. It's too hard. Can't do it. But yeah, just and then most of my siblings didn't graduate from high school because of the farm. Sure. But when I got there, I figured, okay, I'm 16, I'm done. But my brothers and sisters said, no, Mom and Dad, let her graduate. So I'm the first one of 11 to graduate from high school. And that was exciting.
Excellent. During those years, who would you say influenced you the most?
I would have to say my parents, because of how they lived. Hard work.
How did they influence you?
Because of always being there for each other, for us kids, doing the work they had to do, which was hard, and just always being there for us. What
was Dad like?
He was strict, very strict. Okay. Yeah. He was a good man, but very strict.
What was his name?
August Kabatsky.
Okay.
Yeah. And my mom was Mary. She was an Asentuski. Mm-hmm. And when they met, from what I understand, they only knew each other 2 weeks before they got married. Wow. But they were married for almost 65 years before they passed away. Wow. So, but I would really have to say my parents.
Mm-hmm. What was Mom like?
She was very nice, very helpful. Mm-hmm. She was always baking, cooking, like I do. Yep. And that's one woman that never wore a pair of slacks in her life. Always a dress with an apron, although she would put a pair of my dad's bib overalls on when she went to the barn to milk cows, over her dress.
Over her dress,
yep, that's why I'm a dress person today, because didn't like slacks.
It works.
It does.
It does. It does. All right. Growing up, any hobbies? Sounds like you were just busy on the farm.
Yeah, not really. Just the normal farm stuff. No, we never had hobbies.
Yep.
Playing outside in the rain, I was growing up as a kid. That was younger. But no, I never had any hobbies.
Excellent.
Until I got older, and then I had crochet, embroidery. I've made clothes for my kids. So
you went to school up in the Thumb. What town?
Ubley.
Ubley. And where is Ubley?
It's about an hour and a half's drive from here.
Okay.
Right on M53 to Ubley Road and then over.
Got it. What was high school like for you?
In the beginning, it was scary because I thought, okay, I'm not going to remember where my locker is, and all this, that, and the other. But after the first year, it was fun. I loved it.
Sure.
I had my favorite teacher was Mr. Teeple. He was the math teacher, and then algebra and geometry. He was my favorite teacher.
So you're growing up in Ubley. You graduate from high school. What did you do next?
After high school, that's when I was a nanny for a while.
Okay.
And then I got the job at the dime store, which I always wanted to do.
Really?
And I was in charge of the peanut and candy counter, the jewelry counter, and the pen and pencil counter.
Oh, you must have been a popular person.
It was all connected. I mean, the little dime stores.
What was the name of the store?
Dibbles.
Dibbles. Okay, I don't know that, but
Dibbles Dime Store.
got it. And why do you think you liked that kind of work?
I think just because I was meeting people again, and it was just fun. I don't know. I always wanted to do that.
Well, if you grew up in a family of 11 kids, there's a lot of people going on.
Right, yes.
Did you get along pretty well with most of your siblings?
Yes,
Yep.
yeah, we all did.
I got it.
Actually, well, that's a little lie. One of my brothers he was kind of a stinker, but it was okay. We worked it out.
You worked it out.
Yeah.
Got it. And you were third from the youngest. So you had lots of olders.
Right.
Got it.
Now there's only 5 of us left.
Got it.
3 girls and 2 boys.
Okay. Do most of them live north?
Yes, they all live up in the Thumb except for me.
Got it. All right. Do you get together once in a while?
Oh, yes.
That's good.
Yes, we have family reunions, plus I and my husband go up and see my sister in the assistant living. He promised her we'd come here once a month, so we do that now.
Got it.
And I said, that was your promise, you got to do it, not me.
Got it. Okay.
So, yeah.
That sounds good. So, neighborhoods, the folks in your neighborhood, what were they like? Do you remember any of them?
Up on the farm?
Yep, up on the farm.
Yeah, I had an aunt and uncle just living walking distance from our house, my dad's brother, and then some friends across the street from them. And that was basically it, because everybody else was, miles, 2-3 miles away.
Yeah, farm country is spread out country, isn't it?
Yep.
Best friends when you were kids?
Probably my cousins that lived within walking distance, and then my other cousins that were from my mom's side of the family.
Got it.
We used to get together with them quite a bit.
Sounds good. A good foundation from which to grow.
Right, yes.
We're gonna take a break for a minute. We'll come back and we'll talk a bit about your early adult years and the things that happened there. As I remember from our conversation a bit ago, quite a few things happened. Good. So, all right. Well, stay tuned. We'll be right back for more of My Life. Okay, well, we're back, and you graduated high school. So, what happened next?
What happened next? Just being a nanny for my for my bus driver. Actually, he was my bus driver.
Okay.
And then after that, working at Dibbles Dime Store in Bad Axe, which I always wanted to do.
Excellent. So you were at the store. Anything interesting happen at the store?
Sure, that's when my husband came in to buy pens and pencils.
Got it.
And we got talking, and I checked him out, and he asked me for a date. Well, my father, I told you, was very strict. So it was Lent. He says, you don't go out in Lent. So I said, I can't go out. All right, I was out of high school and everything, but nope. He said, well, can I call you? So he called me the next week, and we went for a ride.
All right. That's a good
And
start.
I continued from there.
Excellent. So, how did he happen to come back to the dime store?
I guess probably because he was, I don't know, just looking for that's the closest place you could buy a pen and pencil, because there's no stores in Ubly that would sell that stuff. So that's why he probably came in there.
And you mentioned...
Or maybe he knew I was there. I don't know.
I was going to say, there's a possibility he was...
because I would go to Ubly Church too, and he did too.
Sure.
And I keep teasing him because he said, I fell in love with you in church because you had that long mink coat on. It was no mink, it was a fake whatever. I said, sure, you thought I had money, didn't you?
That's good. That's good. Sounds like a sweet talker. Yeah, that's good. All right. So you met him. He met you. You got married a bit eventually?
Yes, we start dating in March, and not the following. Well, he wanted to give me an engagement ring for my birthday in October, and I said, nope, I'm not sure myself. I won't take it. Don't give me one, because I'll give it back. But Christmas time came. I was ready. I knew what I wanted, I guess.
Got it.
So we got engaged, and in the following July, we got married. Actually, we'll be married 62 years on the 29th of this month.
That's tremendous. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
A bit early for your wedding anniversary.
Thank you.
That's a nice thing. What's your hubby like, and what's his name?
Robert.
Robert.
Yeah, he's, well, like I said, when we got married, he worked for Homelight Chainsaws. He worked down in Detroit, and then he couldn't handle, his boss was a jerk. So he went and worked for Chrysler for a while. He couldn't stand there talking and foul mouth. So he worked for the city of Madison Heights for a while. And then this one guy he did part-time work for, who was landscape maintenance or landscaper, he said, Bob, buy my business, buy half my business. So he did.
Excellent.
And he'd been doing that. I mean, well, now he's retired, but.
Yep. So landscape, that's a lot like work.
It was a lot of work.
Outside.
Yep. Hard work, too.
Did he like it?
He did. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We all did. Matter of fact, 2 of our boys and a grandson are doing it today.
Really? Well, the family business becomes the family business.
Right, yes.
Excellent. What's it called?
Robert's Landscape Maintenance, when we had it. Now the boys all have their own names.
Sure. Got it. Seems like a good name.
Yeah,
All right.
it worked.
Okay. So tell me about boys. You said you had a family with Bob.
Yeah, we have 4 boys and 3 girls.
Excellent.
And like I said, the 2 boys are in the landscape business. One son's in Florida. He works on big like hospitals and whatever. And our youngest son, he works for Boyard Lumber.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And he used to work for a stair company. So if you need a stairs built, call him. He knows what he's doing.
Understood. That's a pretty precise business. These things have to be right or
Right.
they're wrong.
Yes.
That's
yes.
not good. Got it.
And our daughter Sandy, she went to college. She wanted to be an art teacher. She was overqualified. So she worked at Kmart in the advertisement. Our daughter Denise, she worked for a dentist for a while, and now she does eyelashes.
Got it.
And our daughter Kathy, she works for our son-in-law in the accounting business. So, and only, well, our oldest daughter went to college and our youngest daughter, but she went to Oakland U, and then they wanted she had, whatever she was going for, they dropped, and she couldn't get in where else, so then she quit.
Got it. Okay. Any grandkids?
Oh, 20,
Well, that's a pretty good run.
and 20 great-grandchildren.
Oh, congratulations. You like, I'm guessing you like to bake, and you've got 20 grandkids and great-grandkids. You must be a pretty popular granny.
I am. I think I am. I like to think I am.
I suspect you. Now, names, not of the kids, but what are you and your husband called by your grandkids?
Just Grandpa and Grandma.
Got it.
Even the great-grandkids, we're still Grandpa and Grandma.
Got it. There are lots of different versions
Oh,
of
I
those
know.
names now. I've smiled to listen to some of the names that people
Yes.
have. Yep, good. Are the kids and the grandkids local at all?
Most of them. Now, we have one grandson living in Ohio. He works for Hobby Lobby. He's a manager. And then our son that lives in Florida, all his kids are down there. And the rest are all in the neighborhood.
Well, that's a wonderful thing. You must have some good reunions.
Every Christmas, we get together in our basement and have our party. This past year, I said, okay, I'll do Christmas. My one daughter has to do Thanksgiving. Our other daughter has to do Easter. And our youngest daughter, I said, you're in charge of garage sales.
That's good. And it works?
It did. It did.
You must have a pretty good sized basement to have
We do.
all those folks in.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So what's it like to be a grandma of such a brood?
Fun,
Yeah. good.
exciting. And we used to babysit for a lot of them.
Sure.
And as a matter of fact, our grandson was just over this past weekend and brought his 3 little kids, and the youngest one will be 2 in September, and he's going to be a little sports guy.
Yeah.
He was watching golf on TV, and he's swinging a fake club, and then he's watching the ball game, and he's pitching the ball, and then he's hiking a football.
You can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell. Excellent, excellent.
Yep.
So, you and your hubby travel?
We used to more than we do now. I mean, I shouldn't say, we just up north. No, you know, the trip to Hawaii was a 25th wedding anniversary gift from the kids, and the 50th anniversary was our trip to Italy from the kids.
Italy is
Other
a
than
marvelous
that,
place.
yeah. Other than that, we just usually go up north.
Sure.
And with the kids, we couldn't afford a big vacation because of all the kids. We'd always go to Tawas, and they loved it.
Yep.
So for our 60th wedding anniversary, they set up so many cabins in Tawas, and as many of us could go, spent the weekend up there.
Oh, nice. Making good memories.
Yes, for
Yep.
sure.
What was Hawaii like?
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. That was one of my dreams, to go there. And that was my first time ever on an airplane, but I loved it.
It's a long way from here, isn't it?
Yes, but it was wonderful.
Did you get to go here to California and then California?
Yes, yep.
That's 2 big flights.
Right. Yep. And the priest we had at the time was Father McLennan, and he'd been there several times. He knew exactly where we were staying, so he told us exactly where the church was, so we didn't have to worry about anything.
Excellent.
Yeah,
That's good.
it was nice.
So church sounds like an important part of your life?
Yes, it is, very much so.
Tell me about that.
Well, I was raised as a Catholic, and you know, when they say you walk so many miles to school, this, that, and the other, well, we used to walk to catechism. It was about a 2-mile walk
Okay.
on a Saturday morning.
Yep.
But no, it was just always something we did. And even now, when we go on vacation, the first thing we do is get our room and then go find out where the church is and what time the Mass is.
Italy. Let's talk about Italy for a minute.
Well, we went on a tour with, there was some 3, they were priests, but not, you know, they were in our group too. So we went to so many churches. My husband said we really got religious over there because we went to Mass every day. All these steps. I mean, Italy's all steps everywhere you go. And one of the priests, he had been injured in something, so he could barely walk. And I thought, you know what, if he can climb all these steps, so can I.
Good for you.
So we went to Assisi. That was my favorite. We got to see the Pope.
Did you?
We were just real close up to him. And our tour guide, she was wonderful. She would get us into places where we couldn't afford to go. And we went on the gondola ride.
Excellent.
And one day she said, okay, this isn't in your plan, your tour or whatever, but I'd like to take you downtown Italy for dinner at a restaurant. This comes out of your pocket. So we went and did that. One of the priests, Father Ken, because bring all the wine you want. He kept filling my glass, and I said, Father Ken, I think I might have too much. No, Jeanette, that's okay. You can have more. So we had a good time.
Well, we're going to take a little break, and then when we
Okay.
come back, we're going to take a look at your life a bit more recently and figure
Okay.
out what you've been up to.
Okay.
All right. You stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, well, we're back, and it's been good so far. I've enjoyed talking with you.
It's been fun.
Your story.
Thank you.
What a life. I understand that you've been a bit involved in local government, perhaps not politics, but local government more recently. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's just been fun. You meet a lot of interesting people.
Okay?
And if anybody even thinks about doing it, just do it because it's an education,
Okay.
a good education
Got it. For Addison Township?
for Addison Township.
all right.
Yes. So I was the one that had to make sure everything was running right,
Yep.
make sure the people were doing their job. And if anything went wrong, it all came on my shoulders. If I couldn't handle it, I'd go to the township clerk. But other than that, it just meet the people, and if they have a question, answer it for them.
How did you get involved in doing work with elections?
Just by, I guess, Mary, our township clerk at the time, asking me.
Okay.
And it sounded like fun, so it's like, okay, let's do it.
Yep.
And it is fun.
Does it take a lot of time?
Oh, you have to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning. And with the old machines, we wouldn't get home till like 10 at night.
Sure.
But now everything goes right to the town, or to the Pontiac, right from the computer or whatever. So we're out of there by 8:30.
Got it.
So it's not that bad of a day.
Is there a lot of work that you have to do, you and your team, before Election Day?
Not really, because we have to go to a meeting, our class.
Sure.
We always have to do that and learn anything new, ask questions. But other than that, no, because like I said, they have it all set up for us. All we have to do is, guys have to start up the computer and we have to get our stations and we're ready to go.
Imagine you meet some interesting folks with all kinds of different opinions.
Oh, yes.
Can you tell
do.
us any stories?
Well, one gentleman, for sure, he argued about everything. I mean, it's like, when you have to declare your party, it's like, no, we never did this before. Oh, yes, you do. We've always had to do it. And he would stand there and argue. And sometimes they'll come in and they'll just say, okay, we don't like who's running, whatever, we're not going to vote. So it's okay, fine, you don't have to.
Okay.
We're not here to make you vote. And if with the new machines now, if they spoil their ballot, we tell them if you know what you did, if it's okay, hit the accept button and you're good to go. If not, we'll give you another ballot so they can do it again. And some people do it 3-4 times. But we let them because they can.
Excellent.
With the new machines.
So would you think that other people might find what you do or in their community getting involved in elections, would you think they might find that to be an interesting kind of a job?
Yes, yes, very much so. For some. Some might just say, that's too much for me, but no, anybody want to do it, just don't hesitate, do it.
Got it. How would somebody go about finding out more information? I'll say it that way.
Just go to the township clerk.
Your township clerk?
Yes.
And they could give you the
Right,
information?
yes.
Right.
Yep.
You get a lot of folks volunteering for things you're in Addison, that's a smaller township.
Right.
Are most of the folks who are involved volunteers?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
How does that team of volunteers get along? I mean, is it collaborative or lots of different opinions, or how does that work?
No, for the most part, everybody gets along.
Got it.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Other than the election stuff, what have you been doing the last, say, 20 years? So you've been at that for
Okay.
quite a while in the
Yeah.
volunteering.
I've been working, a personal gardener for a lady in Bloomfield Hills, taking care of her flowers and roses and planting and all whatever. Working at St. Joe's in the rectory, cooking, cleaning for the priests, doing their laundry. What else have I been doing the last 20 years? I used to volunteer at the nursing home in Lake Orion, help with bingo. Probably 20, no, it was probably maybe more than that, since we used to cut the cemetery in Lakeville and Kingsbury, which was interesting. Sometimes we'd even go and cover the grave. And my daughter did one time, because the boys were all working, so it's like, okay, we can do this. Taking care of my neighbor. They never had any children, so they kind of adopted us. So when she passed away, when she was still living, he didn't drive. So I would take him in his car and we'd go see her and whatever. And then when she passed away, I said, okay, Mr. Shoemaker, we have to go to the funeral home and pick out a casket. And he said, Jeanette, just pick something out. I don't care. And then we'd take flowers up to the grave. And then when he passed away, before he passed away, I had to put him in a home because he couldn't take care of himself and I couldn't be there every day. He'd call me every morning at 8 o'clock to make sure he was fine. If I didn't hear from him, I was over there. Put him in a home in Metamora. And he said, Jeanette, anybody has to go somewhere, this is the place to go. He loved it.
Yeah. 2 thumbs up.
Yes. So when he passed, or before he passed away, he said about the flowers, who's going to be doing this when I'm gone? I said, I will. I and my husband, we don't take flowers to our parents, but we do it to our neighbors' cemetery right up the road.
Excellent.
So that was a promise I made, and I have to keep it.
We had a privilege of being at the Lakeville Cemetery 2 days before Memorial Day.
Right.
And they had a beautiful service. One of the benefits of Oxford TV
Okay.
is that we videotape a lot of
Okay.
local effects in Oxford and
Right.
Addison townships. They had a beautiful ceremony.
That's where they're
I
at.
think that's lovely. So
Yeah, that's where we're going to be.
Yep.
I said we can walk up there when we die.
there you go. That's good. That's good. So you're pretty close to that.
Yes, actually, where Drainer Road runs into Rochester Road,
Right.
we're about the third or fourth house up the road on the right.
So you
Left, on the left.
You are near that
Yes,
place.
we are. Across from the substation.
All right.
Yep.
If you were given a chance to speak to, which you're about to have, to folks in your world about how to live life, about how to prepare for the future, about what to do that would maybe encourage them to have a more fulfilling experience, what would you say to them?
Be patient, be kind. Don't expect too much of people. Be there for them. And have some kind of religion. To me, that's a big part, religion. And just be nice, be patient. I think patience is the biggest thing. I really do.
Why do you think that's potentially so important for people?
Patience?
Yes.
Because having 7 children in 9 years, I had to have a lot of patience.
Did.
And I didn't in the beginning, but the one priest told me, he said, Jeanette, just keep saying, Mary, Queen of Patience, help me. And that did it for me.
Did it?
Yes. So
Excellent.
patience is a big thing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So be patient.
Right.
Yep. Excellent. All right. I remember reading in 1 Corinthians that love is patient and kind, and those two are the first two descriptions of love. I look around at the world around us, and I think we could use a large infusion of patience and kindness, and that's just
Yes.
your point.
Yep.
Yep. Looking ahead, what do you see in Addison, in Leonard, in your community? What changes do you foresee in the future? What do you think will change, or if nothing, why?
I really don't see any. I know they want to build a new library.
Yes.
I don't know if that's going to happen, so that would be a change if they do. Other than that, I can't see any changes.
Got it.
I really don't. I think it's just going to stay the way it is, and I think it should.
It's a good community.
Yes.
Yes, excellent. It is that. It's been a privilege of ours to meet a lot of people out there, and it's just great.
Right,
It's
yes.
part of our operation. So, well, I want to thank you for taking time to come in. It's a bit of work. It's lovely to hear about your story. When I hear you talk, though, this is what was going through my mind, if I may.
Okay.
Being one of 11 kids certainly helped prepare you to be the kind of helpful person that you have become all through your life, because when you're a farm family and one of 11, everybody's got to help out, don't they?
Yes, yes.
Yep.
Right. I got to tell you a funny story. When I was growing up, I was probably maybe 3, maybe 4, I don't know. But we always had animals, I mean, and dogs. So our one dog had puppies underneath our porch. So my older brothers and sisters said, Jeanette, you need to go under there and see how many puppies.
Okay.
So I had to climb under that porch, and I'm thinking, I'll get under here and I'm never going to get out. So I was scared, but I got under there and counted the puppies. So I remember that just like it happened yesterday, because I was scared,
Yep.
but it was fun.
It's a good, somewhat scary memory.
Right, yes.
And how many puppies were there?
I don't remember.
All right.
I just know there were puppies.
There were puppies. All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep,
Well, again, thank you. It's a
Hey, you're
pleasure
welcome.
to get to know you better.
you too.
And I hope that the folks in your family will enjoy watching your video here.
I hope they do too. Thank
Thanks
you.
for your time.
Thank you.
So until next time, this is Chuck Cameron for Oxford Community Television. The program is My Life, and I hope you have an excellent day.